Good morning, gurus. Welcome to another episode. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Bitcoin and Ethereum, huge drop last night, giving back all my gains that I made from the Fed pump and erasing that Fed power move. I closed my positions because I see that the warning of the Bitcoin rising wedge that I was talking about the last week is playing out. We're going to jump into technicals for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Hit the subscribe button, smash up, thumbs up button, turn on the bell. Let's jump into technicals for Bitcoin now. Going into technicals, and you can see that this Bitcoin pattern is starting to play out that I was warning about. And Ethereum had a huge drop yesterday. We had about an 8% drop on Ethereum. Bitcoin just pushed to 108,000, but you can see this rising wedge that I was worried about, I talked about last week, is playing out, unfortunately. Builds pressure, breaks down the base of the wedge. So unfortunately, it's flipped back to bearish. It tried to come back into the triangle to try and push out, but it failed. And you can see this was when the Fed pumped. It was actually a clear, perfect rising wedge breakdown because we had the breakdown and then we had the retest. So you can see here, this was the rising wedge, builds pressure. Then it broke down. Then the Fed pivoted a bit and then it retested, and that was a perfect retest, and then it broke down again. I should have closed it at the first sign at the retest here. That would have been the smart move. And then it just dropped. It's already down. Bitcoin is now down from the high, the all-time high of 124,000 2 weeks ago. It is now down 12.8%. But unfortunately, this rising wedge is playing out. Now we've got supports at, these are the support lines that I've drawn. We have support at 109. We have a support line at 105. We have a support line at 99. So these are the support lines. But the main trend line is actually here. You can see for the last 3 years, this has been the main trend line. So we could have some big panic breakdown right now. Stochastic, though, is oversold on the daily. The Crypto Guru bot on the weekly charts is still a blue buy. It's been a blue buy from 20K. The Bitcoin indicator bot fired a sell at 124K a few weeks ago, didn't fire a buy yet. And Stochastic is now falling down very quickly. Squeeze Mob is going gray. On the daily, we're already oversold though. On the daily, already oversold. Bitcoin just had a spike down to 108,600 and then had a 1K bounce, but not looking too good. We come down to support now. We're getting a little bit of a bounce off this support. First major support is at 105. Let's go on to the 4-hourly, and you can see the 4-hourly breaking down. Yet we got a bounce from the Fed pivot from 111 to 117. Would have been a great time to close, actually. I made a mistake. I gave back all my gains, and then we just free-falled. And I posted on X when I closed my positions. I've got 110,200 followers on X. Closed out trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum, TON. Worried about this rising wedge forming on the Bitcoin daily. My Ethereum trade at 4,900 was nearly $100 or $70,000 in the profits, or 80,000, and it gave it all back down to 12K. My Bitcoin trade that I built up from 112 down, 17K was a 6 Bitcoin trade, and TON trade down 5K. So I actually lost money. I dropped on those trades. The account this month, wild swings on my account, actually. Huge swings. This month I was from this week from 878 all the way to 979, and then gave it all back from 8979 down to 890. So I gave back 100K. I made 100K this week and then gave it back with that drop. This month, wild swings from 960 down to 868, back to 970, down to 878, back to 980, down to 890. So very wild swings this week. And Bitcoin, you just saw just now, I sold at 110 and then we just dropped to 108, and now we're getting a little bit of a bounce. My first buy order to activate is at 104 for 2 Bitcoin, then 100K, then 93K. I've got buy orders laddered down. On Ethereum, I've got it at 3,900, 3,500, and 3,300. Ethereum also huge drop from a few days ago. We were all-time high, 4,900. It's down 13% since then. huge drop last night. We got a bounce yesterday to 4,600, then it fell to 4,300. Not looking too good, to be honest, on but I'm doing it based off that rising wedge. Let's see how it plays out. We just got a huge bounce. Bitcoin just fell. I closed at 110 a few hours ago. It fell to 108,600 and then got a bounce to 109,500. Let's see how this rising wedge plays out. I purely closed on this breakdown of this rising wedge. It was a perfect retest and then breakdown. So it's actually playing out a rising wedge almost perfectly. So this rising wedge now is playing out. Let's see how far we drop. Unfortunately, that main trend line comes down to all the way down to 93. I don't think we come down to the tariff lows at 73. We have big support at 93 and 90 and 100 and 105. Let's see how low we go. I didn't expect such a big drop actually after that Fed announcement. I should have closed after the Fed call. It was a buy the rumor, sell the news. Once the news came out, that was a time after that pump. I could have saved 100K on the trades, kept that profit, and then it just dropped from there. And that's playing out perfect rising wedge. Hopefully I'm wrong and it doesn't play out. But I've got my orders laddered down. Join us in the Telegram, 208 people online, people discussing, sharing trades, discussing charts, Bitcoin breaking down. That Adam and Eve pattern also that I pointed out seems to be playing out. Unfortunately, I should have waited to build up my Bitcoin position. Not smart, because we had Adam and Eve here, and that's breaking down. And then we had that rising wedge on the bigger time frame, which is playing out right now. Target of that would be 87K, but I don't think we drop that low, to be honest. I'd be surprised if we do. We should get a bounce off the 200 moving average, which is coming close. 200 moving average sitting at 103K. But Bitcoin right now is just falling, unfortunately. So I've got no active trades now, almost all in cash. If you want to trade, under the video, go down below, Bybit 60K bonus, main exchange I trade, WeX KYC free, $200 sign up bonus. Take the courses and join us in the trade. WeX is giving away, doing trading competition for Bentleys and $2 million. You can join them there. These are some people that have made gains from me buying $2 million house from viewers, up 122K. My portfolio hit 1 million. And I was moving mainly into cash, if you saw the last few months, because Bitcoin at all-time high, Ethereum at all-time high. Yes, even just a few days ago, even yesterday, Ethereum got a bounce to 4,600. It would have been nice. I opened my trades at 4,200 to close them at 4,900. Would have been smart on the Fed rate announcement. And then it just bled out since then, and no bounces, which is interesting. It's mainly, I think, because interest rates are high, 2, liquidity is drying up, and 3, the US government said they're not buying Bitcoin. And that's what everyone was basing their rally on. So now we're getting this big fall. Let's see how far it drops. Maybe that was the liquidation candle just now, but that rising wedge is a bit worrisome. So I've gone into cash, nearly all cash. I've protecting my capital. I was buying heavy at 20K, 17K in 2023, and I've been trading up here, the top, nearly all in cash, not spot. Hit the subscribe button, smash up, thumbs up, and turn on the bell. Let's see how low Bitcoin goes. I've got buy orders at 105, 103, 90, 100, 98. I'll ladder down, but I'm going to ladder down slowly. We don't know how bad this drop gets. Love you all. Have an amazing day. Let me know in the comment section, do you think it was the right decision? And some lessons I should have closed after that Fed announcement. We got that strong pump on Friday. Would have been smart to close and keep that 100K gains that I had on Ethereum and Bitcoin and Ton, instead of giving it all back and even dropping a little bit from that point. I've got my buy orders laddered down. And again, I'm not in spot. I'm just buying. I'm doing leverage trading. But I'm very experienced trader, and I'm doing 20x on breakout trades. I highly recommend, if you're new, just do spot. Buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, spot, and DCA. Don't put all your money in at all-time highs. Time to put all your money in was at all-time lows. Love you all. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.